In the previous Hermitcraft episode, I left you on a big cliffhanger. I'm sure many of you have spent sleepless nights thinking whether or not I'm going to build more trees. Well, the answer that you've all been waiting for is yes, I am going to be building more trees. And in a stunning twist, I'm going to do exactly what I said I was going to do at the previous Hermitcraft episode, which is kind of build them up here a bit, and then maybe chuck a couple trees in there. Then maybe throw one in there. If you've ever wondered what the M stands for in M. Night Shyamalan's name, well, with twists like these, it might just be Mumbo. I think it's time we start our first chapter. I've said it before and I've said again. I hate everything about this. So what are we thinking here? We've got maybe a tree sort of here. This is kind of hard to work out, you know. So I've got all of my trees gradually making their way down this hill. I hope they'll become more visible once I start putting leaves on them. And then I think one good tree sort of here-ish will be good. And maybe just a little something right here up against the bulbous creation. I don't know why I'm sticking with that name, because it's I don't know. I don't even know really what it means. I don't know where it came from. I just don't know. I don't know. Good stuff. That looks right. So now I need a whole bunch of azalea leaves. Wow, that is the weirdest naturally generated tree I think I've ever seen. I genuinely haven't touched a single block on this. It formed like this. Evidently I got the wind direction correct with my chimneys. I mean, look at this thing. So now let's start placing in some blocks. Feeling pretty good about this. Tree number 1 is done. I kind of like it. I think it just needs a few more dangly bits. And now it's looking good. And tree number 2 is looking good. And tree number 3 is also looking pretty good, just very skinny. The biome has definitely changed, by the way, and my leaf color is slightly different. And it's definitely taking the edge off the mangrove leaves. But you know what? I actually don't hate it. In fact, I think I prefer this color palette to the one that we have down at the bottom of the town. So this should be the final tree in this little setup here. And now our composition should be complete. And wow, that actually makes this feel like part of the build. And it actually ties this whole area together. And it doesn't look like this is like a little... I now can't imagine this just being like this. That is so weird. So now it's time for the finishing touches. First things first, there's a few cherry blossom trees out the back here, which I think are a little bit distracting and kind of taking away from the top section of my builds. I guess you could say they're muddying up the horizon. So now that those leaves are gradually disappearing, it's already looking a little bit better. Now I think just like Scar over here, we need the occasional boulder and a little bit of leafage in the ground to really finish off our landscape, as well as the removal of a lot of these little flowering ones. In fact, the removal of a lot of everything, to be honest with you. There's so much stuff here that is significantly better. This is significantly noisy. So now I can finally start placing in a few boulders. And let me tell you, I have been fiddling around with these for ages. Here's the thing, right? The on-the-ground experience right now is like awesome. Like this... I really, really like the scale. Seems right. Honestly, I like this boulder. This boulder has me excited. Wait, I actually think it's... I lost my flash go. I actually think it's climbable. Oh, it's got a bit of a techie move here. This is where it gets difficult. Oh, God, this is difficult. Oh, my goodness. Come on. Come on. Yes! Go on! Yes! I propose 6A. What should I call it? Burden of block seems like the way to go. Wow, I got distracted. Anyway, I love the on-the-groundness of the boulders. Like, it feels right when you're on the ground. But from above, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there just needs to be more of them. Maybe there just needs to be more of them making their way up this hillside a little bit. A couple of them down here. Maybe some packed mud around them. At this point, I was panicking, but thankfully Scar was online, so I thought I'd just meet up with him and chat about boulders.
I was recently like on the kind of a side of like a hill.
Right.
And it was part of like the Missoula flood. So there's these enormous boulders that are just like sitting around the landscape.
Okay.
And this is like a Missoula flood like scene over here. It is really cool. So if you're trying to bury them, what I would do is just take a few half slabs and then just bring up the dirt up on one side a little bit, use a few half slabs. Like just play around with it. Everything when it comes to landscaping is like painting. you just kind of put a little paint here, you scrape it off.
So
you
interesting.
Move it over here.
I like that idea of like building up a little bit of like a mud pile where it's like it's kind of sat in the landscape a little bit.
Yeah, and like this is what you do is like when you do this is like you just kind of like see if maybe that works or if maybe that doesn't. Maybe you move that, or if I had a half slab on me, like you'd maybe stick one right there and you just try to like bury it. Think about a boulder is a lot like an iceberg.
Yeah.
How there's like way more of the iceberg down here than there is up on top.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's I think you did a good job, but like when you're doing it, just get some half slabs and kind of like add them. And don't forget to add like the little fellas. Like you got the big ones and they're cool.
Yeah.
But don't forget about the little like just a random. Don't get crazy, by the way.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm struggling with, right? Like I kind of place these around and they feel very like plonked in, but you are so right.
Yeah.
I think like little small ones to like set the tone.
But be very sparing with the little ones.
Okay, yeah.
Like you might have a tendency, and I have this too all the time.
Yeah.
Is like I'm looking at them like, okay, the big and medium are good, but maybe I'm just gonna take like a single block and a half slab, and then I'm gonna put like 20 of those around. But in reality, you only maybe want like 2 or 3 at best.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So to recap, a little bit of berryage. Remember that the boulders are underneath the ground. A few little splatterings of like small ones, and then don't stress about scale too much. And then I guess like think of the grand composition of the build, I suppose, as well. Like as smart.
I would say do either one of the existing boulders or a new boulder that's a little bit bigger than all of them, and then do like 2 or 3 small ones. And I think that would look really, really cool.
Cool.
And overall, like you made this hill look so much better. Like this over there, this area looks so much better. I cleaned that area up a tiny bit the other day, like cleaned up a few creeper holes, but you like came in and terraformed it up and it looks enormously better.
That was incredibly useful. So now it is time for me to put some of those ideas in practice. And what's so funny about talking to Scar about anything building related is he essentially just comes over and says, imagine what it would do in real life. And then that's enough for me to kind of know what I'm doing. I don't know why I can't put that into practice until Scar says it. Like, Scar just comes over and says, yeah, like, imagine that the mud has been moved by the boulder, and imagine that a lot of the boulder is underneath the ground. And it's like, yeah, of course that's the case. I know this. I spend a lot of time around boulders. I spend a lot of time around rocks. I look at these things. I just need to apply the same logic. So I put that into practice, and I actually went a bit above and beyond what Scar was saying. I started looking at the landscape and started seeing how these boulders would actually fall, how they would land, how they would distribute across the landscape. We've got like a gully in this landscape, so I thought I would make use of that. That's where the majority of these rocks are going to go through. And I gotta say, now that it's all finished, this is probably my favorite landscape I've ever created. It just looks so natural. It looks like it exists in the real world, and I love it. But Scar didn't just come over to talk to me about boulders. We ended up talking for a couple of hours. Cub and Jem were also there. And Cub revealed this crazy piece of information.
Gosh, Mumbo, every time I talk to you lately, you're obsessing over a new man. It's fun. It was a rock climber dude.
Oh, Kashama. Well, yeah, but that's fair enough.
That was the last time I spoke to you.
Yeah, because I shook his hand. I almost bumped into the man, and then I was enamored.
Oh, now he's gone again.
Yeah, no, that was like the highlight of my life, you know. That's the most happy I think I've ever been.
Who's somebody you met celebrity-wise that you were like, oh my god?
Oh man.
You can say me. You can say me, Cub. It's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. You can say Mumbo.
I'd probably say Obama. I met Obama.
What? Wait, what?
Cub, you have so much lore.
Come on.
Briefly, shook his hand, you know.
I've known you forever. You have never said this.
I didn't think I never had an opportunity to mention it until now.
I would have found a way.
You just been holding that in? What?
What? I could throw Chris Sharma in the trash. What the heck? That
Nobody can
absolutely sent me.
It's so out of left field. I would never have guessed that. I thought he would have said like Neil deGrasse Tyson or
what makes that so funny to me as well. Like that's not the obvious option. Like he's pulling from like a bunch of Obama level people. It's like probably Obama.
Yeah. Well, see, okay, all right. This is gonna sound okay. I met Bill Clinton.
Oh my
I know.
Carp, you can't keep holding these people back.
Again, it was just a quick hello, how are you?
Yeah,
nice to meet you type thing.
What?
Is he like a Secret Service operative or something?
No.
Okay. It's time to do some redstone. I have a funny story about this redstone contraption. Whenever you search Mumbo Jumbo redstone, this redstone contraption comes up the most. It's been the subject of many memes, really quite simple, gets thrown around quite a bit with it. What's really funny is that it genuinely is really quite simple because I built this entire thing as a joke. Like, none of this stuff actually works. All this redstone system does is open and close 2 wooden doors at the same time. The actual redstone is just this. It was called my most complex redstone contraption this year. It was released on January the 2nd. It was my only redstone contraption of the year. Today we're going to be working on this thing, and as you can see, this thing is slightly broken. Somehow these copper bulbs have gotten out of sync, and I actually don't fully understand how or what's broken about it, but before I do any fixing and any changing, I've got an idea. I'm not 100% sold on this system, so I think I'm going to set myself a timer of a couple of hours, play around with some concepts and see what comes out. This is absolutely going to become the focal point of my base, a bit like how the heart became the focal points of my Hermitcraft Season 7 base, so it's important that I get it right. And I'm really curious to see if I can make this work. A trapdoor display. Okay, well, first things first, I am already feeling really good about this. I'm already feeling really good about this. Also, those flipped trapdoors there, I did that to get them out the way so that they didn't have a line in this gap. I also did the same thing with the eyes. I flipped the trapdoors, but those ones, they almost look like little rosy cheeks. Like it's got little dimples. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry to anyone who visits my base. I genuinely am, but I thought it would look cool to animate the edges of the screen, and I was right. I was absolutely right. This has me excited. By the way, I've also changed the color of just these trapdoors to be cherry blossom to give proper rosy cheeks, and this might be the most cute thing I've ever seen. I just built up a little eye move system, but I got it the wrong way around. Okay, I think I've got a little sequence going here that is working for the eyes. It's like really, really subtle, but man, does it add so much life. Okay, things are going well, and things are pretty simple at this point in time as well. Like, there is nothing complicated back here. Look at the difference. Look at the difference currently. It's also kind of impossible for this one to break because there's no things that could go out of sync. There's no bulbs that could get powered on and then not power off and mess everything up. And from a distance, this looks outrageously good. Okay, now it's time for some speech animations. If I can get 3 random emotes into this thing, I'll be really, really happy. Wait, what if they're not random? I could definitely have this thing fall asleep at night, and that would be so good. I could also have it blush. I could potentially have it cry, although that might be too sad. Oh, this is 100% going to work. This is 100% going to work. Time set. Yes, okay. And then if I get it to wake up again. Come on. Okay, we're in a good place here. Wait, I can use this circuit to have it blink as well. It can totally blink. And don't worry, mustache wigglage is coming. So I've got a little randomizer here, and I'm going to hook this up to a redstone clock, and that means that there is a 1 in 6 chance that we get a blink. And I'm going to be super lazy and use the redstone clock from this to power our randomizer. And you can see that most of the time, we're only going to get a signal strength of 1 from this thing, but then occasionally, we will get a signal strength of 3, and we will get a blink. Okay, so I've set the odds to 1 in 3 because the blinks were just not happening. Now, we should see them more frequently, and oh my goodness, that is the cutest thing. That has made it feel so much more alive. Just the occasional blink is this sort of thing that makes things feel alive. That I actually really love this. Okay, I'm so glad we're putting in the time to do this. That combined with the eye movements and everything like that, we are definitely onto a winner, and to be honest, it's making this look a little bit pants. Now I've got a few headaches to work out to ensure that the blinking circuit and the eye moving circuit are separate from one another. And because I've wired them kind of stupidly, this is actually harder than I expected. Because currently, if this thing blinks mid-eye movement, it breaks. But I believe I have now fixed that, and everything should be working. So this thing can look around, blink in the middle of a look around sequence, and everything will still function. And I love it. It almost feels wrong calling this thing it. Or this thing. I mean, I guess in some sense it's going to be me. So I guess I could just call it me? That feels weirder. But regardless, I can now look around and blink at the same time. It's a huge upgrade. So now I'm installing the mustache wiggle circuit, which is something that I've been excited about for years. Right. I think this should work. So that should have moved my mustache down a little bit. Yes, it has. Okay. And then if I flick this lever again, that should have pushed my mustache back up. Okay. So if I, attach this to something, I can get it to go down and up quickly. If I run a vortex pulse into that, I can hopefully get a little twitch. Now, sadly, the mustache twitch is a little bit too flickery in its current setup. So instead, I've created this circuit right here, which adds some delay. It's bulky and it's going to be expensive. And it does mean that I have to move all of this circuitry backwards, but I think it will look a lot better. It does look a lot better. So if we just watch this thing for a little while, it will go through a handful of animations. There is the mustache twitch. Everything is working perfectly. Now I've just added in a circuit that should switch all of the randomizers off when it's nighttime, so we don't get any mustache wiggles or anything. I think that one happened before it became night, okay? Now, everything is good. This thing is fully asleep, and then if I wake it up, the eye should open, and immediately all of the randomizer circuits and things should begin to operate. We should start seeing blinks. Nice. And we should start seeing mustache wiggles and looking around. This is perfect. You know, earlier on, I said I was only going to do this for a couple hours. Well, I've blown way past that, but I need to add some interaction to this. This is a bit of a throwback. In fact, probably one of the biggest throwbacks. Way back before I even started my YouTube channel, one of the most popular large redstone YouTube videos on the platform was the Temple of Notch. It was built by FV Disco, and to this day, all of FV Disco's videos hold up and are still some of the best redstone videos on the entire platform. And I think, having done a little bit of testing, I can actually do the wiring for it inside of this screen. We can make a digital Temple of Notch. For those who don't remember, when you access the temple, a randomizer fires and either Notch winks at you and gives you a prize or starts crying and kills you. The tears were the thing that I was a little bit concerned about, but I've managed to get them working, and I've tried some colored trapdoors. I'm not 100% sold on it, so I've swapped them back out, and I've done both sides, and I've sped everything up. And this looks perfect. That's crying, right? That, like, there's no other way to interpret that. Now, if I switch this off, it should have returned back to normal. Excellent. Things are functional. And then I think I just have a little wink circuit that is down here. And if I block this off, then we have a little wink circuit. Obviously, I need to make sure that the other animations can't play in this situation. For example, like that. But everything is working. This is like 300 times better than the first one, and maybe 30% of the size. Comparing the two, I honestly can't quite believe that I was planning on constructing this as the focal point on my base. And I absolutely cannot wait to get this one built. So let's hop back onto the Hermitcraft server and get this thing laid out. Now I'm going to put the most basic of gradients into this. Now that I'm placing the blocks, definitely Deep Slate is darker than mud, isn't it? Like, there's kind of no doubt about that. Yeah. I mean, 100%. So I'm going to start again with my gradient, and now it's done. It's so interesting not having a hole there. Oh my goodness, the build looks way more complete. Now I just need to place in all of the borders and all of the trapdoors. I'm going to need so much more of this stuff. Okay, that was expensive. Hopefully that covers it. I'm not sure it's going to cover it. But after a tiny bit of rearranging, the build is now done. And oh my goodness, does it look cool. It looks so ridiculously cool. I cannot wait to have the blinks and the eye movements and the mustache wiggles combined with all of the fans and all of the things that are going on around here. I'm so excited. This is such a weird build. Like, if I actually go down my own rabbit hole here, so I'm putting my brain into this computer because I'm gradually aging and I want to live in Hermitcraft Season 10 forever. The research for that was done by Mind Laboratories, and then they've built this machine using components from Big Ron's tech supersaw. This is Big Ron. I kind of fell in love with Big Ron, thought I'd do some merchandise, thought I'd choose some commercials for Big Ron's, and in the process of that, designed this little fella who is absolutely adorable. And then Jake Kelton Crafts was watching my Hermitcraft episodes, saw that I had built a static fan on the side of the factory and thought, I can animate that using opening and closing trapdoors, and that inspired me massively, not only to jump into the world of Buildstone, but now finally to build this display out of trapdoors. There are so many things that have run into one another here. It's crazy. It's so weird. This has been a blast. I cannot wait to get it fully constructed. Oh my goodness.